Hello everyone and welcome to yet another live coding until. It's Friday, it's a lovely day, hope you are having an amazing day, and today keep me company and maybe learn something as I learn tons of things as we continue with our Patreon page clone app. As we may manage to take payments, real payments from real users, today we'll be doing lots of Stripe stuff, we'll be integrating our SvelteKit app with Stripe today, we'll be having an ambitious agenda with ambitious bonuses as well, but I am hopeful. I think we can go a long way today. If you remember in the previous episodes, we've created this app, I've added dark mode offline, but all the other things, we've done them together, so now you have a profile page if you are logged in, but mostly on the previous episode we worked on the login flow. First episode we did the login with GitHub, last episode we did the login with email and password. Always a classic. So hopefully this still works. You'll notice that this is live and you can play around in production if you go to johnify.com, and you can of course inspect the code as well. If you just click the GitHub link, you can find it in the video description as well. Open source and free always, even though we may start making money of this, and you know, buying domains is expensive. I've did the rundown of how many I have and how much I pay, and it's quite a lot. So let's start getting some beautiful membership money in. Supporters, not with their money, but with their love is what keep me going. Hello, God is sleeping. Nice to see you in the chat. And the idea for today is to have at least one product in the splash page, in our hero page, and say, if you want to see ad-free videos or early access to videos, that sort of thing, then click here and get a subscription for $5 or €5 or €10, whatever we're gonna do. Maybe in the future we'll do the classic of having 3 tiers, like with €5 you get this, with €10 you get this, but also this, and also this, and with €100 you also get this amazing thing. We'll see what we're gonna do, but my plan for today is to have just the one. We'll go to Stripe, we'll create one product, and we'll try to show it in our SvelteKit app. For that to happen, we'll need webhooks. So we do have a Supabase database, that's a Postgres database, that's gonna be the source of truth as far as the app is concerned, but the real source of truth for the products and the subscriptions is gonna be Stripe. So whenever we add a product in Stripe, it should somehow sync with Supabase. And that somehow is going to be through webhooks. So we'll be trying to integrate with some webhooks. Today, there is a huge discussion of maybe we should have Stripe be the source of truth, and then we directly query the Stripe API to figure out what are the products and who is subscribed or not. But the inspiration for this project is the Next.js repo that is doing a very similar thing with Stripe subscriptions, and they prefer to do it with this way, synchronizing a Supabase database. So we're going with that, and we'll see how it works out for us. My day is going amazing. Thank you for asking. I hope your day is going as well. Let me know. If you're working with me, if you're just chilling, anything goes. So let's get to it. We've talked about what we're going to do today, and we'll need to set up webhooks. And as I mentioned, we're going to be getting inspiration from the Next.js project that exists and does a very similar thing. Maybe I should quickly switch to my desktop view and click on this link with the Next.js project, and we can see a demo of that. So they've managed to do a kind of similar thing. They have the products here, and only if you are signed in, you can actually click and subscribe. Now I'm not allowed, but if I sign in, I can do it. And these products are not hard-coded in the Next.js website. They are in your Stripe account. They're dynamically created and synced from there. So that's what we're going to be doing today, but with SvelteKit. And I like that they have the double billing thing. So we'll be trying to create products like that. Just the one product for simplification's sake, and you know, launch with one product. That's the MVP. And then we're gonna worry about having multiple tiers for our users. And it may be worth go into our Supabase project and look at our schema there. So we have this Johnify project. And indeed, in our Postgres database, that's where we'll be storing our customers as well. So we'll be syncing products and subscriptions and customers with Stripe, and our users are not necessarily our customers. So you can go to the live site and you can create an account, log in here, going through the login flow. And then you'll be a user of the website, but you won't be a customer. You'll only be a customer if you buy a subscription plan. And if we set everything up correctly, that will mean that you've appeared in this customer table and you have one of the subscription products running for you. So step by step, we'll get there. Like 3 episodes in, we've managed to come so far. We'll go even further. I'm ambitious about what we can do today. So I'll set up my noodle timer and see what 25 minutes of focus will get us. So first things first, we want to handle a webhook, and surely that's going to be an endpoint that's going to be handling some events from Stripe. We'll need to validate that it is actually coming from Stripe and not like a malicious third party. And the way the Next.js team has done it here is that they do have a set of relevant events they care about, and then they have a post handler in that endpoint that does parse the request, gets the headers, and tries to figure out whether the webhook is valid, is indeed from Stripe. Question in the chat from Cody Sleeping. Supabase does offer a storage bucket of sorts. So in the meantime, if you log in with GitHub or Google or whatever we provide there, we just have a link to your avatar from there. We just store your avatar there. But Supabase does offer something where if we have our own avatar system, then we put it in a storage bucket here. So they offer a storage solution, which we can create a new bucket and then say, all right, store this person's avatar that is just uploaded there. And I think you can do a few resizing tricks as well. So if you want it to be smaller or bigger or on demand, high quality or low, I think you can do it with this storage solution. It's very similar to like AWS S3 storage buckets, if you know that sort of thing. But since we're going full Supabase for this, I'm using the Supabase solution. So according to the Next.js project, we need a handler that's going to be validating whether the webhook is correct. And then if it is a valid webhook from Stripe, then it's gonna check if it is the create or update product webhook, and then it's gonna create or update a product in our product database, in our Supabase products table. If it's a price, updates the price. If it's a subscription, updates the subscription. And I guess that's it. So doesn't look too crazy. We should be able to copy this functionality. I did notice in this code they have like a couple to-dos as well, which we may find in the future. But for now, all we really need is a post endpoint. So the way you do server routes in SvelteKit, you create a directory, you reflect the URL as a directory path, and then you have a server.ts file. But we can have a look to see about server-only modules and post requests and that sort of thing. It's not going to be on the advanced routing. It's not going to be a page. there's going to be a server file that we need exporting the uppercase verb. In older versions of SvelteKit, that was lowercase, but now it's uppercase to conform with what we usually do here in web dev. So we want in our routes directory, we can have a webhooks directory, and then we can have a Stripe directory there, and there we can have a server.ts file. And we can, the idea is that we'll be directing Stripe, we'll be telling them to hit the johnnyfy.com webhooks slash what's it called? Stripe endpoint. I think that's nice. That's not what the Next.js team is doing, but I think you may have quite a few webhooks hitting your app. So why not give them their obvious name here? Maybe like malicious third parties may find some more information of what your webhooks are doing there, but I think that's too much worry for nothing. And we want to export the get post handler. And we can type this, I suppose, the request handler from types. So that endpoint will eventually work. Let's read the docs as well on what they suggest for us to do. So we'll be receiving events for all types, blah, 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 blah. Interesting that here they're not validating the endpoint. We can set up a local listener to hit our event. Great. So they're talking about signatures, but they don't have like a clear example of how to do this. Code in the chat, Stripe is quite intimidating. Well, the great thing with Stripe, in a previous episode when we did do this with Next.js, is that they offer like no code solutions for everything. So I don't know how I'd manage to get to the one I'm thinking about. But you can even do like a carousel of products like we're gonna do in the end without writing any code whatsoever. You can have product catalog, this thing. So you can create a pricing table that's gonna look awesome. Getting into the Spanish version, and I'm getting slightly sidetracked. But in any case, just as if it were a database with UI, you can put your products here, you can create a pricing table and say, all right, these 3 products, put them in this nice table, and it will have good enough styling, good enough CSS. It will look very professional. I think it will look better than what the Next.js team has done here, slightly better. And then you share that link and people are able to click and they go through the payment and they can manage the subscription through their customer portal and stuff. So with very little code, they say no code, but I think it's like super low code. You can embed a script on your Svelte website. You can get quite far with Stripe, and their docs are usually very thorough, even though for this specific webhook example, I would have expected a better like step-by-step tutorial on how to do this. So without that, we're gonna just copy what the Next.js team is having. So they get the Stripe signature here, and they find the webhook secret from the environment variables. This is fair enough. And then, I guess if this fails, this construct event, the body signature and webhook secret, it means that the signature is invalid. But maybe they're just saying a known error to not give more information to malicious third parties. They just say 400, they don't say 401 unauthorized or 403 bad credentials forbidden, whatever else. They just say something went wrong. They're playing naive, which is fair enough. So let's try to copy this logic. With SvelteKit to get the body of the request. I was thinking you just do like request.body, but we'll find out. Request should be here. Is that true? Yes. Maybe it's just a body. So take the body out of the request. Why not? Yes, Lind is underlining this with a red squiggly, which I hate because it makes me think that I've done something wrong, and I haven't. I'm gonna use it just in a little bit. Like I can see that it's subtly different color, and that's enough. This shouldn't worry me like that. Maybe yellow squiggly I can live with, but red, it's too much. And the headers, I think they're just on headers.get. Maybe not. Yeah, they're here. And then indeed, I do want the Stripe signature. How did you know? GitHub Copilot kinda knew this. I'll just copy it from here. Great. On the fly, I'm gonna remove this. Configuration. Is worn nothing? Yeah, so blue squiggly, fair enough. So we have the body and we have the signature, and apparently we can recreate the event by constructing it here. So we will need the Stripe library. Although they're using a Stripe library from the utilities here. What does that do? It creates a Stripe client. I see. npm Stripe. All right. So let's create, I think this is going to be a server-only module, and with SvelteKit we can create server-only modules by doing .server.ts now. can validate this here. You can put them in a directory called server, or you can do the .server, .whatever. I'll go with the folder. So server stripe.ts. So in here, we're gonna be importing Stripe, which we're gonna install as a dependency on PMI. And the API version, that looks quite relevant. And we can export the Stripe thing here, and we do need the Stripe key. Do we want this as an official plugin? Sure, this says let's do this, so let's do it. And the key, oh, interesting, different keys according to where we are. So the way we import environment variables in SvelteKit, we can import them from here. But we're not doing public ones, we're doing secret ones. Yeah, and static private, okay. So we want to import Stripe secret key from $env static. We're not gonna toggle it while in production, only on the build step, and private, we don't want to leak it. And we're gonna use it here. And if that doesn't exist, yeah, that looks correct. I think it's because we don't have it in .env, which no, it's because I'm on the wrong window. Why did that move? I don't know. I don't really know. So yeah, import this from here. I was in the Next.js app, like look on the right and let me know if I'm on the wrong app. Stripe secret key, use it here, but it's saying that we don't actually have it. Secret key, this secret key is fine. So just for a moment, I need to push this off screen, because I'll open .env and also paste in Stripe secret key here. And I also need to go to the Stripe dashboard. Here we have the public key here, which is fine to leak. Just type in public Stripe key equals whatever it just copied. But then I need to get this off screen as well. You can refresh and like re-roll your keys if you do leak them in a live stream, which I have done in the past, of course. But it is a bit of a hassle to update all your variables. So I'd rather not do it. It asks me to check my password as well for extra security. All right, close to 10th, and I think we're in. I think we can get here just fine and return our code editor as well. And it's all good. And now it's happy. Stripe security key is a thing. We do have it. We can talk to Stripe. We can use this client. Now that we have this client, we wanted to create an event, taking inspiration from, again, this. So what they do is that they let an event because they are going to try cats creating the event. They don't reassign the event anywhere. Okay, let's try to copy the same thing and we'll see what happens. So let's bring in the Stripe type in the Stripe library. And then, if no signature or no webhook secret, I just air this out, which doesn't make sense. So let's say webhook secret. It's going to be another environment variable, but I don't want to go to another window again. So it's going to be Stripe webhook secret. It's going to be something from .env again. And this will fail, so we don't need to check again. But we could run error. Just 400. And then, if that exists, we can bring in our Stripe client and pass in the body here. But I guess it's a readable string. Cool. So how do we parse the body? We'll do it somehow. The signature is going to be the signature. And this is going to throw an error, I guess, if the signature doesn't match the secret. So they're going to do that for us, which is cool. We can extract it into our own library here. As well. We'll think about refactoring later. So my question is, how do I parse the body? Stack Overflow that has like a high chance it's not gonna actually work. This person wants to parse JSON, I guess. Maybe we'll have better luck if we just do request dot and see what's there. Blob, maybe it's the blob. Ah, text. Could be text. What does this want? Array buffer. Maybe they're going to be happy with this. Buffer is going to be this. If we waited, this should have been a sync. They don't like it. What else can we do? The request. I don't want a readable string here. Maybe text will be fine, to be honest. So we'll try that, see what happens. And clarify that this is the parsed body we're talking about. And we'll see if that actually works for us. If not, we're gonna return a 400, fair enough. If yes, then we're moving into webhook handling territory. So we can copy all of those relevant events. Do we need them? Not really, because they're using them here in the switch case. And they're defaulting anyway. So we can say switch event type, and in reality, default case is going to throw an error. Maybe not. Received true. Is that something that we should actually be returning, or did they make it up? Looks like it. All right. So maybe that's why they have this switch case where, like, as a reminder that you sent a relevant event, but you haven't used it. So maybe we can copy this. We can say handled events. Do we need a set? Probably not. I guess it's easier to access, which is fair enough. I'll take inspiration from my theme because I'm doing this TypeScript trick. And we can create a type. If we do this as const, so if we have our array of handled events and we say treat it as a const, then we can create a dynamic type from this, or a type from this, without having to duplicate this. And our handled event should be here, and we can do a type guard if the type of the event is object and event type, or maybe the other way around, the handled events array includes the event type. There must be a better thing for this. Yeah, it's a stripe event, so we don't need to say unknown here. Event is handled event. Oh, interesting. So we need to coerce this to handle event. And then I guess it should be fine. Need to go deeper. All right, so here we can say is handled event and console log. We are handling this. Maybe we can do our switch here that actually defaults. To log in this, but in either case, I guess what we want, I think SvelteKit has a JSON helper. For responses. Maybe not. I think it's true. Let's just try to do it. Yeah, there is a helper for JSON here. And I believe what we wanted is to return receive true. So no matter if we're handling the event or not, at this point, we're gonna send back a received true for Stripe to know that we got the event correct. Thanks for joining and hope you're back. I know that these are long streams and a lot of work, but they need to be done. Like, we'll get there. And we're only 4 episodes in, so not that long. This may be a good opportunity to have a break as well. Just let me double check. For the webhooks here, they won't receive through. Okay. Cool. So we're getting somewhere. I'll reset my noodle timer in just a moment. I will go to the face view so I can have a luxurious sip of coffee. we're still in the first step, which is getting the webhook, but I think that's half the battle. If we have the webhook, then we can go here and mess with the products and the prices and all of that, and see them reflected in our Supabase, which is awesome. Guess we have no products here. Oh, test mode. Always remember toggle test mode. On test mode, we have a few. So I think the first thing I would do is to tweak this and see if we do get a webhook back. But for that to happen, we also need Stripe to tell us, to tell Stripe to hit us at a specific URL. So let's set up 25 more minutes and see where we get. So we're gonna attempt to do this, maybe in another terminal. npx stripe listen and forward. Let's go to terminal. So we're gonna do npx listen and forward, not to localhost and not to this. So we want to forward to localhost 5173, API, webhooks, Stripe. So if you could forward them here, that'd be great. But it doesn't know Stripe. What is the Stripe CLI? Do we need to log in? Maybe. Oh, with Homebrew. We need it with Homebrew. And then we'll need to log in, I guess. It's fair enough. So to install this, didn't copy it. Try harder. Copy harder. So this should make the Stripe handy library available. I'm surprised they don't have it in as a node module, but I guess Stripe is agnostic of languages. They're making themselves available to all sorts of languages like Python, PHP, everything. Oh no. Did that work? No, because I need to update Xcode of all things. Well, that's not great. Why do I need updated Xcode for this to work? Oof. That's gonna be a blocker for now. And I assume that it would all have similar problems. I wonder if the Docker one would be fine. Let's try. Given we're not just blindly following instructions here. Or maybe let's do it the cool way instead of Docker. We may do it the lame way later, but we already have a branch. Let's claim that we've scaffolded a webhook handler and have Vercel deploy. Webhooks, we already have that one. Oh, it does say use the stripe CLI, which we will use in future. And who knows what the endpoint is going to be. I guess that's why I wanted this. So let's push this to Vercel. Let's say scaffold stripe webhook and push this, and Vercel is gonna deploy it for us, and we'll have a URL to hit. We'll make a PR. We can set it as a draft. It fails immediately because it can't build because I haven't set the environment variables that I need to set. Great. Perfect. That's what we wanted. We wanted this to remind us. And I may need to add them in various places. So let's do that one by one. We need the Vercel dashboard, and probably we'll need it in GitHub as well. And we will need like 2 of those. We'll need the webhook secret as well, eventually. Let's slide the code over to we'll get there. So we want public stripe key. Add that one. Stripe secret key. That one too. And let's add them on GitHub as well. As secrets and variables, there's a section here. A new secret is going to be the stripe secret key. Add it. And this one we can leave in test mode even when we go to production, because it's going to be the CI running stuff. And a variable is going to be the stripe public key, public stripe key. Copy and paste that. Save Vercel. Add variable on GitHub. And the other thing I would like to do, just in case, go to my playwright YAML. And add those two things. All right. I should be able to show this on screen now. So on Playwright, which is our end-to-end testing tool, it may not build if we don't have these defined. That's why I made them available on GitHub, and I'm also passing them in the action that runs the Playwright tests. So these two we've added in a few environments now, and we can say add stripe keys to Playwright action. Push that, which will trigger a new build. We're hoping for the best. Create a draft pull request that I think Vercel is going to deploy anyway. Vercel looks like it deployed it. And it deployed it here, which is good because if we go here, we should get an error because there is no get handler for this, but there should be a webhook handler for this. And that was the whole point. We want to add an endpoint here. And we can even select specific events because we know the ones we are caring about. And they are, of course, these. So some product ones. Oh, we should do a deleted one. I think, probably. We should do a price one. Again, they are handling this too, which is interesting. For checkout sessions, let's do all of them, even though maybe we are only handling the completed one. And the customer. Customer has tons of events. Can create a new customer, delete, blah, blah, blah. It seems like we're only handling the subscription events for the customer, but maybe in the future we'll want more. Created, updated, deleted. We'll do all the customer ones for sure. So yeah, let's add an endpoint. And there is a secret that we are going to throw away soon. So it doesn't really matter if we leak it, but just in case. Just so I can get more proficient with this flow. So Stripe webhook secret is what I'm creating here. And I need to add it as a secret on GitHub probably. And definitely on Vercel. That's for sure. We've added it in these two places. And then again, I'm going to do the playwright thing. Stripe webhook secret is going to be this. And we can probably return this. And so it. So my GitHub helper says that this hasn't been updated. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe not. Maybe I misspelled something. Who knows? But this would be enough to commit and push again. But since we're here, let's work on our server. And remember, we don't want to use this. We actually want to use this from the private static environment variables. All right. So maybe we can say use environment variable for webhook secret and push that and have that deploy and then see if we can send like a test event or something. This is not what we want. Again with the CLI. We can trigger anything we want, which is cool. This is definitely what we want. We're doing it the hard way here. But hey, them's the bricks. So we should be deployed on the same endpoint. New deployment is available. That's excellent from Vercel. Did you see that pop-up on the bottom right? My face was in the way, but Vercel knows that there is a latest release for this. We can go to the logs here And whenever I see logs, I'm not sure if like top is latest or bottom is latest, but maybe we'll find out. Is this actually the latest deployment? I don't think so. It should be this one. Let's look at the logs and see. With Stripe, it should be that our webhook is set up. Let's double check. This is the one we want. And now we go to the products and change this name to be support tier. We should send an event. And if we should send an event, then we should be getting a log here. All right, something happened. "404" it says. Did I put it in an API folder or did I fail massively? Johnny. No API folder. Should I keep an API folder or not? It's not like the public API, but yeah, I guess I will. Not external. Let's say infra. Nah. Is there like a move things around emoji? Yeah, this is the one. So we need to push that, and I think it's gonna work. And when I say it's gonna work, is it should make it all the way through here, authenticate correctly, and get received true response back, so Stripe will be happy. Maybe better way to do it, maybe this is a prime case for retest testing and unit testing this, because we are in control of like the payload. We know what the payload is going to be like. We can create this event ourselves, and then we can see if our switch cases are all doing what they expect and check instead of messing and waiting for real events. The speed of development would have been faster if we actually unit tested this. So that's a thought for the future for sure. So back to deployments. This is the latest one. Go to the logs. And maybe we can just retry on Stripe. Failure rate 100%. It's like, oops. It does try like 3 times as well. Let's resend now. Let's see what happens. We don't want this anymore. New logs. All right. Webhook error, it says. Interesting. So the code we copied had a mistake. Great. But hopefully this will make it just work. again. So validating the webhook, or I guess constructing the event, which also validates the webhook. The Next.js project is using construct event there, but they're saying that this is a synchronous context. Maybe because we parsed the body, who knows? Maybe if you pass it a buffer, then it's happy, but we couldn't quite do that. So now we need to use the asynchronous one. Or maybe not, I'm not sure. But once we have a new deployment, yet again, this one from just now, can go to the logs, can go to Stripe, can refresh, can see that it failed again. But if we resend, at least it's hitting the correct endpoint. That's quite good. And we can literally copy all of this request as well to use it in our unit tests. All right, we got the log, we're handling this, we got a 200 back. We're good to go. There's a woohoo. So if we refresh this, it would feel like we eventually handled this. Awesome. 25 more minutes done, so small break time. And maybe I should have like more bullet points for this. I guess we're kind of doing the creation of products as well. So if we manage to do that, if we manage to do this handling, then we are also getting this stick for free. But it feels like there are a few steps I could have illustrated here. It's a bit like step 1, draw a circle, step 2, throw the rest of the owl. Of that damned owl. What's gonna be our next step? Our next step, so we validated the webhook event from Stripe. We made it to here. We now have an event that we can work with. And we even made it to this. So we did identify that it was one of the events we're handling, which should be the product updated one. So we're going to create some cases, and for the product updated ones, we're going to say create a new product in a database or update it if it doesn't exist. And again, we're going to take inspiration from whatever Next.js is doing, even though this code didn't quite work for us. Yeah, I wonder why. Like, what's the body here is a string. And our body is also a string, so I'm not sure why the construct event synchronous action didn't work for us. It looks like it's the same. Maybe the Stripe library is updated. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's on the edge runtime, what I'm working with now. Again, I don't know. What I do know is that we want to do this case. So 25 more minutes. Let's do it. We're getting closer and closer. So in neither of those cases, we're going to be typecasting this as a Stripe product because we know that these events have products, I guess. And then in the Next.js library, they have like some utility methods that have admin access to the database, and they can create and do whatever they want. So how are we going to reflect that? Again, in our server file, let's have a look. We can create a Supabase admin file here. .ts, which we can create exactly like this, or almost exactly like this. This should be defined already. Can we pass the database here? Yeah, we can. So we will. But we also want to do what we did for Stripe and get the service role key like this. Create client, of course, from Supabase AS. Sure. It's not a special method. It becomes special because we log in with the service role key. So that's the admin client. By virtue of logging in with the service role key, which means it can do even cooler stuff. And one of the things we want to do is to upsert product record. Can you do upsert single? Let's do, yeah, one step at a time. So we have server. Maybe I want a Supabase directory here. And maybe I can say admin client.ts here. Supabase admin. To make it as obvious as possible. Export this. And then we can create this method, the upsert product record. Product is from the database, I guess. I see. Let's see if we can find it. Not really. So as far as our database is concerned, a product looks like this. Let's see if I can find it. As far as our database is concerned, our product has an ID, a boolean for whether it's active, a name, a description, an image, and some metadata. Interesting that it doesn't have like features. Interesting that it doesn't have features. And of course a Stripe product. What do they have? This from admin. Export this. What does a Stripe product have? It does have features. Don't I want the features here? Probably. But it feels like I will want a migration to happen. We just get the first image because we're lame. But yeah, it has quite a few things that maybe we don't care about. But yeah, keep in mind our source of truth, Stripe, does have a few fields that we don't have in our Supabase database. I will be adding the features field at some point here. It seems all they care about is it active? Does it have a name? Does it have a description? Does it have images? Does it have metadata? Metadata is a JSON column. But if that happens, if there's an error, we throw the error. And I want to look at the Supabase logs. Can you do like a single insert? It looks like the answer is yes. Yeah, you either do array or not, so we can just product data here and it should be happy. And let's find out to do here. Anything else we may want to include? Product. Live mode, what's that? Doesn't feel like we want anything. Right, images could also be an array. And also, interestingly, question from the chat from images before, like now this image is hosted on Stripe, which won't be as fast as getting it from our own domain. So we may want to do something clever with where we host this image, but you know, just keep it in Stripe and that's it, I guess. Cool. So now absurd product records should exist and do some stuff like console log. So in theory, when everything is taken care of, we should never be at the default case. if we do, we'll do a console log, which we may remind us to get on it and actually fix this. All right, so we did quite a few things here. We typed our Supabase client. Why not? We created an admin client for Supabase. We created a method to upsert products to the database. And we made our handler, our webhook handler, upsert products in the database. All right, sweet. So when we push this and this gets deployed, the idea is that we'll see our first record in the database, in the products database here. So we met with Stripe and suddenly we have a product in the database, which would be awesome. And speaking of messing with Stripe, you can go to the product catalog. See, we have this thing. What else can we do? Cross-sells, metadata, we can have something here. Feature list is here. Feature list. It is optional. And we can add the metadata here. We can say featured or hero product true. Like if we only have featured, I guess. So you can make up the values here. And you can't say if it's like Boolean or not. Interestingly enough. We can try it out. I'm thinking that we can have 3 products and then one of them has metadata featured and then they get like the most popular label that you see very often in these things. Save the product. Let's see if our webhook... Awesome! We did it! We did it. Just wanted to go to OBS just to confirm that the camera was on and we saw this awesome thing. So we got it. Interestingly, this metadata thing doesn't take... You can't specify that the value is a Boolean or like a number or something. It doesn't seem like that's the case. So this becomes the string true, which I'm not thrilled about. So maybe we won't use it like that. Let's update it again. Confirm that we're hitting the correct one. Let's call it as support. Additional options. Can we say Boolean? So here it's a number. Interesting. So maybe there is a way to make this be a boolean, but not how we know it. Anyway, let's save the product again. And see if this updates. It updates immediately. Awesome. So metadata now is an empty object, and that's it. It's active. It has its name. It has the little picture we created and uploaded. We'll get a designer one day. Whoa, does it have the picture? I guess it does. I guess this made me download something. Yeah, it made me download this picture. Great, awesome. So we could download this and put it like in our storage bucket and all of these things. But I don't think the value is there for now. Like future optimization. Let's put it somewhere in the bonus thing. Locally host images. What am I saying? I'm never doing this. Typing it out. Thought that this is not a feature I want. What I do want is to also handle prices. So if you're not familiar with Stripe or the previous episodes, each product can be attached to multiple prices. So this one, for example, has a monthly price and a yearly price. But you can do anything you want. You can have multiple monthly prices. You can have just the one yearly price or whatever combination you'd like. And I think it's different to be able to apply coupon codes, but I'm not sure. Let's just click add here. You can have different currencies. You can have package pricing, like if you buy 10 of them, then you get this price. And free trials not supported before. I guess coupon codes is a different thing. I'm trying to understand why would you have like different prices. I'm not sure. But hey. This is built in like related products. If you're interested in this, then maybe you want to buy this. I guess on Stripe checkout it will allow you to sell different products. And if you don't, again, like if you don't want to do any code and just get sorted, you can actually create a payment link and submit it to a customer. So if I'm using this to schedule appointments, to one-to-one mentoring sessions or whatever, and don't want to have the site online and in production and everything, I can just still be here, take payments with Stripe, and send my clients the direct payment link that this could create. And they go through a nice flow, they pay me, they're happy enough. Right. So what were we saying? We want to handle the pricing. We want to handle the prices. And as we saw in the Next.js project, they're doing a very similar thing as what we did for products. So we should fly through. TS ignore here, always worrying. But they have this case for prices, which does a very similar thing. Surely, for what we just did. So let's handle price creation, and we're gonna create this new method. This is gonna be similar to this method, but called this. It's a price record. And this is gonna be taking price, I assume from here. And this also is going to be a stripe price. This is going to be a price. Well, I guess let's just go to that method and see what they do. Copy all of this. Price. So for prices, again, they're inserting an array, which we don't want, it's just a single price. They get the ID, they get the product ID because they are attached to a product. They are getting whether it's active, the currency, description, type, unit amount, interval, every software, often I guess monthly and annual, whether it is a trial period, and some metadata. Is there anything else? Maybe interested. Nickname looks interesting. Recurring looks also interesting. But hey, they just want these, we'll just do these. So with just these two lines of code, maybe that was a bullet point item that we should be handle the products being updated, handle the prices, do that sort of thing. Something weird happened here, but just doing this manually should be fine. And it should mean that we can handle prices being updated. Oh, copy. How did that happen? I renamed the wrong thing. That's how that happened. Oh well. So now we should be handling prices being created and updated, but not deleted. At some point we should handle that with a very similar method as what we did for products. And it seems you cannot have a price if you don't have a product attached to it. So at some point, this code should be live. And we can maybe edit this price. Oh, interesting. We cannot change this price. Is it because it's a default price? Is it because there are like test subscriptions here? Who knows? But let's create a new one. Let's say you can buy per week. That's like insane. €2. Let's not do that. Let's do €9 per week. Customer chooses price. That's interesting. So it's just an amount, set limits. It's quite interesting what they have here. In any case, let's set this price as default. And let's see if it makes it into our prices table. It did. Happy days. Also note that it's stored in cents. That's a common database trick, so you can not mess around with floats, decimals, and that sort of thing. Just multiply by 100 and store cents. That's an old school engineering hack. And you can see that it is tied via product ID to the product we have. Awesome. It looks like there is no like default. No default price here. But maybe that's not part of the price. Maybe the product is telling you, but my default price is this. Interesting. Anyway, it looks like this works. If we go to Stripe again, we can see we handled a price created. It also updates the product, maybe because we did the default price update. Is that true? We're not storing anything that says whether this is the default price. But hey, it doesn't really matter. So if we make this the default price, what do we get? Since that's technically not part of the price itself. We get a product updated. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So this does not update the price, it updates the product. Let's look at the upside product record again. Yeah, this feels important, but maybe not. Let's leave it here. It feels like we should update our database table to account for our price being updated. Our default price. But maybe no one is using it like that, so that's why they don't really care. Still not delete this price for whatever reason. I can delete this price, but we're not handling deletion of this, which is fine. I guess the last part is handling subscriptions. Oh no, there are two last parts. One is we handle subscriptions, and we also handle checkout sessions. Okay, we'll do like a 5-minute, not 5-minute, shorter break. We're still setting up a webpoint to handle Stripe webhook. Let's take a little break by writing this down. this we just did. And it's more stressful than writing code. And finally, that's what we're gonna do. So we did this, we didn't do this, we're gonna do this. But we did do the price one. Don't know when I ate it in the line items, but it was delicious. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. We have kind of done this, but we haven't shown anything on the UI. I don't know if we'll do it. We'll see how this goes. How are we feeling? Let's see. So for the subscription creation, let's see what crazy things these Next.js guys are doing. Maybe it's happier now. But we also want this file. So what does it do? Create action. Interesting. So only if we create a new client, when does this happen? If we have a subscription ID and a customer for the subscription and it creates a subscription, then it's create action. Interesting. Let's look at our database table again to see what we're storing. So for subscriptions, we're storing ID, the user ID, not the customer ID. Huh. Not the customer ID. What do we store for the customer? Just ID and customer ID. Interesting. So this is mapping the user from here. Too many nulls here. I guess it's the email logins people have done. So it maps the user from the ID of the user from our table to the Stripe customer ID. That's all this table does. And here there is a user ID, which I guess we're gonna find out if it's the Stripe user ID or our user ID. But it's a million things: subscription status or some metadata, the price ID, Sure. I guess that's why you cannot archive a price that's in use, because there's an active subscription. Quantity, how many subscriptions do you have? Like, can you buy 10 months of subscription? Maybe. Sure. All right, let's keep looking at the code. We want to create this. So this flag is actually the new subscription, but we'll copy it same way. So in here, new file, manage subscription status change. It's just going to do all of this. Export it, sure. So the subscription ID, we have the customer ID, we get and create action. All of this should be just given, right? That's what we do for the other ones. So let me double check this logic. Yeah, just pass a subscription. Why are you doing it differently? Why are you making your life hard? Then we don't need to do this, then we don't need to do this. And we bring this in from here. And Bob's your uncle. I've never used this expression before. And here, much like we do like in other places, we just get a subscription. With the stripes thing. Get this in from our generated file. Right. All right, so subscription is a Stripe subscription. The subscription from the event. or the Stripe subscription. Let's be real. Let's bring in our Supabase admin. Then, so the first thing they do is they find the customer from our table before. But who creates this customer? I guess when you create a checkout session, then in there, they're going to be creating the customer, like the potential customer. And then they activate the transcription, the subscription. So they alias this, the customer data. Oh, the Stripe client. So then we're using the Stripe client. To get the subscription again. Because we want the default payment method. This is a bit weird. And then we don't want to ignore this. What could this be? What's the problem? That's probably a string, right? Null object. Oh. Yeah, if it's an object, just return one. Of course, null is an object. So what does this return? Who knows? But hopefully we can use it here. It does not exist. Oh. This doesn't have quantity. Interesting. All right. So it seems like this never exists. Is that what they're doing there? Let's look at the developer docs. Yeah, it has like a million things, but I don't see quantity here. So I think they just made it up. But we were saying something about this. I don't know. It must appear somehow, but we're not going to allow multiple subscriptions. So let's keep going. Today time. What does that do? Helper method. Is it not just new date? Yeah, it does take milliseconds. That's the one I was thinking. But is it seconds or milliseconds? That's what I want to know. Looks correct. So they're doing this to take time trick. Ah, they set the seconds because it's seconds, sir. But I think that's just silly. But maybe it's not that silly. One is just one. Yeah, that's what I want. going. All right. So after all of this, we're upserting the subscription. We're logging this, but no one's gonna see it, only us. And the create action flag, let's double check what this is event type. Oh, is that why they didn't do it outside? So what they were doing on the server. And they're doing the object. Okay, so we can do here the tag. And maybe say that we do pass is new subscription boolean. And we check for this, and we check whether there is a default payment method, and we have a UUID. What's the UUID again? Okay, let's call this user ID. So if we have a user ID and default payment method, which we should, right? Yeah, we should. This should always be something. So why are we clicking so? So copy billing details to customer. That's another method for us to steal. Maybe our final one for the day. Ah, second final one. This one, do they have comments for the other ones? No. This one we can keep in this file, not exported. I don't think you use it anywhere else. This can be the user ID. Oh, or no address returns. What's its problem? What are we updating? The users table. And the users table has an address, I guess. It has a billing address, which is a JSONB. What's the problem with that? Should be anything. Ah, it won't update. Stripe. Let's have a look. Name, phone, address. Name, phone. What is the address? Yeah, so they're doing undefined or null, which is kind of silly. It's just the city. Spread the address and say that city. Still upset? Same thing for country. Is it going to be the same thing for everything? It's just silly. Now it's happy. Is there anything else here? Dear Lord. See the Canadian one? Yeah, just those things. Anyway, so we don't need to spread the address. Hopefully we won't need this forever. So again, what is it called? All right. I wonder if that's correct, but hey, that's what they want. So we update the billing address, update the payment method, and we're good to go. We've done a lot. We're about to handle our customer subscription events. And let's double check. So this also handles a deleted event? That's crazy. But must be true. It's crazy enough to be true. So plus server here. Let's see what we did. Subscription method, that's our server file calls. And we just did some little shuffling around here and some notes for future migrations. Let's push that. We won't be able to test it live because I don't have the CLI, but we will do it in the future, I guess, in the next episode. But we did this, and it seems like there is one event left for now. Next is we also handle the checkout being completed. So let's see how we can translate that. In the case we have a checkout session completed event. Interesting. So they call the same method. Very interesting. So if we are in checkout mode, then we manage the subscription status change, I suppose. They're passing in the customer there, so let's have a look at this thing. Customer ID. So that's why they did it like that. We may need to refactor, but that's fine. So they were passing the subscription ID in both those cases. Fair enough. So let's refactor this. So let's say Stripe subscription ID here. What was this before? Stripe subscription. But what are we doing with the customer ID? Nothing. What's this? Okay. So, whoops. That was a bit of a mistake. Got this bug. Do we use the customer ID anywhere else? No, subscription ID just in 2 places. Just the one. All right, now it makes sense. And it's new subscription. Let's do it here. All right, should work the same, but here, let's see how these guys are doing it. They are also const out the subscription. So that should be cool. Here, subscription ID we get from, what else could this be? I need to check this. Alright, so we did a little sanity check here. I think that's gonna work better for us. Do we want to do the same thing? Turn, I guess. And I guess we can do the same with the customer ID. Only it's nested somewhere later. I could be null. Interesting. also use that here. But let's remember to do the sanity check. No customer ID, then don't do this. So if the checkout mode is subscription, we do all of this. We'll go back to the manual subscription status change. If not, we'll do nothing. Maybe let's console log. We are only selling subscriptions, so we should never get there, but who knows. All right, believe it or not, I think we're done with this section. I think this completes our webhook. Check this assertion. Oh. Check this assertion. What else could it be? Do the same thing here. I think if we don't have customer ID, we can do nothing. So let's add it here. Then we can remove this to do. All right, I think this is going to be it for now. Let's see if our unit tests are passing and we can talk about what we're going to be doing next. So next, of course, it's going to be the fun bit. We're going to show our membership plan in the UI and actually create a checkout for them and have them go through. But it's going to be the next episode, which I'll try to do on Tuesday. It's either going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. And looking forward to that. I would have loved to get to there, but this webhook creation was a ton of work in the end. But, you know, 2 hours or and a half later, we got somewhere. And we'll have the membership plan in the UI. Maybe I'll have 3 by then if I work offline. We will allow users to create a checkout session and use a fake credit card, the one that Stripe approves, to buy a membership. And then we're gonna see into creating a customer portal with Stripe where they can go in and manage their subscriptions, turn them off, or change the billing details without us having to have our own integrated customer portal. Because I don't really want to build that myself when there is a no-code solution or low-code solution there. And then we'll just turn it on, push it on production. So I do think it's very likely we'll do this on Tuesday or Wednesday. Next stream, we'll manage to actually have a product out. And behind the scenes, maybe I'll do something fun, like switching to server-side auth, adding a magic link option, password, forgotten password, and reset. That would also be cool. Those are likely candidates to be done offline. Online, I will definitely do protected posts and stuff. So the idea is we sell you a membership plan. If you're in the membership plan, then you can see self-hosted videos. So instead of YouTube videos, you can come here and see the videos without ads and see them early, maybe a day earlier as well. So if you're not a member, then you'd see a teaser or a link to the YouTube video. If you are a member, then you see the full post and a link to the self-hosted video with no ads and no YouTube traffic and that sort of thing. That's the idea. We'll manage to do it next time. I'm super confident. Our tests seem to be passing. So offline, I will update the webhook endpoint that we have set up here. So instead of hitting this deploy preview endpoint, it will be hitting real production, which is gonna be neat. Guess you can update details here. Cool. So I can just update what the URL is and be done with it. Great. And what else would I do offline? Maybe nothing. Maybe that's it. All right, I think we're gonna call it then. Excited to get into a real checkout session there. In the meantime, maybe watch my videos. Maybe I'll even, I guess that's why I'm saying next stream, Tuesday or Wednesday. If I think I'm close to having a new short video out for you on Tuesday, I'll get done with the video. I'll finish that up. But if not, if I'm far away from doing a new video, then it's stream on Tuesday and then I'll keep working on the video. It's been a pleasure today. It's fun to do these things and we'll keep doing them. Thank you for sticking with me, especially go to sleeping. I like the chat interaction, keeps me motivated and awake as much as coffee. So hope to catch you all next time. Hope you are having even better Fridays than how we started. And I hope you have amazing weekends. See ya.